Native English is all about using idioms, expressions, and collocations that you cannot learn by reading English textbooks or by studying only English textbooks, which is why in today's video, what I want to do is bring some expressions and some slang to your attention that you got to learn to be able to understand native speakers better and communicate with them better accordingly. The first English expression is, that's lit, that's lit, that's lit. But what is the meaning of that's lit? What does it mean when someone says, a native says, hey, that's lit? This is an informal or a very casual way of saying, hey, that's amazing, that's wonderful, that's incredible. So that's lit means that's amazing, that's wonderful. An example of this expression, man, that party is lit. Man, that party is lit. Which means, man, that party is amazing, that party is wonderful. Which is an informal and a very casual way of saying something is amazing, something is wonderful. The next English expression is, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. When a native speaker tells you, hey, I'm down, it's another way of them telling you, hey, I agree with you, or I'm in. An example of this expression, want to go hiking tomorrow? I'm down. Which means, want to go hiking tomorrow? I'll join you. I agree. I will come. I will do it too. I'm down. I'm up. I'm in. Another way of saying I'm down is by saying I'm up or I'm in. When you're saying you're up or you're in, it means you're down. You want to do something the same way as others do, or you want to join others in doing something. The third English expression used by native speakers that I strongly recommend you should learn too is spill the tea. Spill the tea. Spill the tea. Spill the tea. What happens when you spill the tea? What do you exactly do when you spill the tea? To spill the tea is another way of saying that you share the gossip about someone, or you let others in on gossip about someone. An example, you said something happened at work. Spill the tea. You said something happened at work. Spill the tea. You said something happened at work. Spill the tea, which means you said something happened at work. Share it with me. Tell me all about it. Tell me the gossip. Reveal the gossip. Share the gossip. The next English slang is no cap. No cap. No cap. When a native speaker tells you no cap, it's another way of them telling you casually, I'm serious. No kidding. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. Or it is beyond a joke, or it is no laughing matter. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. So no cap is a casual or is an informal way of saying I'm serious, or I'm not kidding, or I'm not joking. An example, the movie was the best I've seen. No cap. The movie was the best I've seen. No cap. The movie was the best I've seen. No cap, which means the movie was the best I've seen. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. No kidding. No joking. The next English slang that native speakers use, especially in casual English, is flex. Flex. The word flex. When they tell you, hey, flex, what they mean is, hey, show off. So when a native speaker says, hey, I'm flexing, it is another way of telling you that they're showing off. So to flex means to show off, is a casual way of saying that you're showing off. So to flex means to show off. An example of this word, are you buying a new car to impress people? That's just flexing. Are you buying a car to impress people? That's just flexing. Are you buying a car to impress people? That's just flexing, which means are you buying a car to impress people? That's just showing off. That's nothing else but just showing off. Now we're getting to the final slang of today's video that you gotta learn to understand native conversations better, which is low-key. 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 The adverb low-key. To do something low-key. When you do something low-key, you do something quietly. You do something secretly. You do something without bringing it to everyone's attention. You do something without provoking everyone's attention. An example, I low-key love romantic movies. I low-key love romantic movies, which means I secretly, quietly love romantic movies. I love romantic movies, but I don't want to make it public. I don't want to go public and me loving romantic movies or me being interested in romantic movies. I never want to make it public. I never want to make it known to everyone. Let everyone find out that I'm in love with romantic movies or I love romantic movies. And that's about all, guys. So in today's video, we went through some English slang together. Let's review these points that we just went through together to be able to understand native English better. That's lit. That's lit. I'm down. I'm down. Spill the tea. Spill the tea. No cap. No cap. Flex. Flex. Low-key. Low-key. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video. If you're a businessman or a businesswoman and English is not your first language and you're doing your best to improve your business English, this video is for you. This video is right up your alley. So make sure you like this video first and subscribe. And second of all, watch this video to the very end. Why? Because in today's video, I'm going to focus your attention on some business English idioms and phrases that you got to learn and use at your business meetings or while speaking with your business partners in English. The first business English expression is to touch base. To touch base. To touch base. When you touch base with someone, you make brief contact with someone or you check in quickly. So to touch base with someone means to give someone a call or to send someone an email or to get in contact with someone or to make contact with someone briefly and quickly with the purpose of asking after them or with the purpose of asking them about any recent updates. An example of this expression: let's touch base next week to finalize the details. Let's touch base next week to finalize the details, which means let's get together next week, let's make contact next week, let's get in contact with each other next week, let's meet each other next week to discuss the further details. The next business English expression that you gotta learn and use at your business meetings is to circle back. To circle back. To circle back. When you circle back, you return to a topic later. So to circle back means to return to a topic later. An example of this expression: I don't have the numbers now, but let's circle back tomorrow. I don't have the numbers now, but let's circle back tomorrow. Which means I don't have the numbers now, but let's get back to the topic tomorrow. Let's discuss the topic again tomorrow. The next business English idiom is to be on the same page. To be on the same page. To be on the same page. To be on the same page can be used to emphasize that you agree with someone, or you understand someone, or when two people are on the same page, they understand each other and they agree with each other. An example of this expression: before we move forward, let's make sure we're on the same page. Before we move forward, let's make sure we're on the same page. Which means before we move forward, let's make sure that we understand each other. Before we move forward, let's make sure that we agree with each other. The next business English idiom that you gotta learn to shine the next time you have a business conversation with one of your business partners in English is to take it offline. To take it offline. To take it offline. When you take it offline, you talk about something, you discuss something privately, but not in front of everyone, not in a group of people, or not in front of other people. You try to discuss it privately rather than publicly. So when someone says, hey, we'll talk about it later, let's take it offline, what they're trying to say or what they're trying to emphasize is that we will discuss a certain topic later privately rather than publicly. We will talk about a certain topic later on privately, not in front of others, not in front of other people. We don't want to make something public, we just want to discuss it privately. An example of this expression: that's a great question, but let's take it offline. That's a great question, but let's take it offline. Once again, that's a great question, but let's take it offline, which means that's a great question, but let's discuss it later on privately after the meeting. Outside the format of the meeting, or let's discuss it privately rather than publicly. Let's discuss it privately, not in front of others. The next business English idiom that you gotta know and use at your business meetings, in your conversations with your business partners in English is to think outside the box. To think outside the box. Once again, to think outside the box. When you think outside the box, you try to be creative. You try to think creatively. You try to think in an unconventional way, or you try to be creative and unconventional. An example. We need to think outside the box to solve this issue. We need to think outside the box to solve this issue. We need to think outside the box to solve this issue, which means we need to think creatively and unconventionally in order to solve this issue, to solve this problem. And now we're getting to the final business English phrase of today's video, which is to hit the ground running. To hit the ground running. To hit the ground running. When you hit the ground running, you start immediately and meet with immediate success. Or you start doing something by meeting with immediate success. Or you start doing something and achieve some immediate success. An example of this phrase, we need someone who can hit the ground running day one, which means we need someone who can start things quickly, get things happening, get things, started as soon as possible, and also meet with immediate success on day one. And that's about all. We reviewed some very practical and useful business English idioms and phrases, guys, that you need to learn if you're a businessman or woman, or if you need some expressions to use at your business meetings to take your English to the next level and sound like native speakers discussing a business topic. Let's review these phrases once again together. To touch base, to touch base, to touch base. To circle back, to circle back, to circle back. To be on the same page, to be on the same page, to be on the same page. To take it offline, to take it offline, to take it offline. To think outside the box, to think outside the box, to think outside the box. To hit the ground running, to hit the ground running, to hit the ground running. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of your YouTube English teacher who puts a lot of effort into making these videos, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video. In today's video, we're going to be going through some relationship idioms and phrases that native speakers use, and you should too, to be able to understand them better and communicate with them at the same level. So let's get started. The first relationship English expression is to be head over heels in love. To be head over heels in love. Once again, to be head over heels in love. When someone is head over heels in love with someone else or something else, they madly love someone or something else, or they're deeply and profoundly in love with someone or something else. An example of this expression. He's head over heels in love with his girlfriend. He's head over heels in love with his girlfriend. He's head over heels in love with his girlfriend, which means he's deeply and profoundly in love with his girlfriend. He madly loves his girlfriend. The next English expression is love at first sight. Love at first sight. Love at first sight. Love at first sight refers to the idea of falling in love with someone instantly by just looking at them, by your eyes falling on them. So when someone says, hey, that was love at first sight, what they're trying to say is that they fell in love with someone instantly or immediately after seeing them, after looking at them, after their eyes falling on them. Is it possible? Do you think love at first sight is possible? Well, logically speaking, it is not possible. It's not possible to fall in love with something instantly or immediately after seeing them, looking at them, or after your eyes falling on them. I think this is, something imaginary, or it's just a figment of some people's imagination. But love at first sight, in my opinion, in real life and in real world, does not really exist. Anyway, an example of this expression. For them, it was love at first sight. For them, it was love at first sight, which means for them, it was just falling in love with each other instantly or immediately after seeing each other, after looking at each other, after their eyes falling on each other, after seeing each other, which is something absolutely absurd, ridiculous, and childish, which is, in my humble opinion, something meaningless and senseless, especially in today's world. I think you can claim that you've fallen in love with someone when you've spent some time with them, when you've got to know them and how they behave towards you, who they are, where they come from, what their ideas are like, and how they live. You can't just say, hey, that was love at first sight. In other words, you just fell in love with someone immediately after seeing them. That's just ridiculous. That's senseless. Anyway, the next relationship English idiom is to pop the question. To pop the question. Once again, to pop the question. When you pop the question, you propose marriage. You propose marriage. You propose to someone. To pop the question means to propose to someone. To ask someone to marry you. To ask someone to get married to you. Or to ask someone whether they are interested in marrying you or getting married to you. He popped the question during their vacation in Paris. He popped the question during their vacation in Paris, which means he proposed to her, he proposed marriage, he asked her to get married to him, to marry him during their vacation in Paris. The next relationship English expression that you gotta learn to be able to discuss the topic of relationships or marriage, with native speakers better is to tie the knot. To tie the knot. To tie the knot. When you tie the knot, you get married to someone. When you tie the knot, you marry your dream man or woman. So to tie the knot means to get married or to marry someone that you love. They tied the knot after 5 years of dating. They tied the knot after 5 years of dating. They tied the knot after 5 years of dating, which means after 5 years of dating, they got married. They finally, made their relationship public and formalized it. They decided to build their own life together. They decided to build their own future together, or form a family by getting married. The next relationship English idiom that you gotta learn is to be on the rocks. To be on the rocks. To be on the rocks. When people say, hey, we're on the rocks, what they mean is that their relationship is experiencing some problems. Their relationship has faced or got into some problems. When someone says they and their partner are on the rocks, what they mean is they and their partner, or they and the person with whom they have a relationship, are experiencing some relationship problems, are in a very challenging situation, or have a stormy relationship, or their relationship has faced some problems. An example, their marriage has been on the rocks lately. Their marriage has been on the rocks lately. Their marriage has been on the rocks lately, which means their marriage has been experiencing some difficulties lately. Their marriage has, run into or has got into some difficulties lately. Their marriage has faced some difficulties lately, or their marriage has been stormy a little bit, or has been facing some issues and problems. And the final relationship phrase of today's video is to have a thing for someone. To have a thing for someone. To have a thing for someone. When someone says, hey, I have a thing for Emily, for Alex, for Peter, what they're trying to say is that they like someone romantically. They're in love with someone romantically, or they are very interested in someone romantically. An example of this phrase, she's had a thing for him since high school. She's had a thing for him since high school. She's had a thing for him since high school, which means she's been in love with him since high school. She has loved him since high school, or she's been in love with him romantically, or she's liked him romantically since high school. And that's about all, guys. In today's video, again, similar to all my previous videos, you learned some other English idioms and phrases, especially relationship idioms and phrases, to understand native speakers better and sound like them. Let's review these phrases once again together. To be head over heels in love. To be head over heels in love. To be head over heels in love. Love at first sight. Love at first sight. Love at first sight. Pop the question. Pop the question. Pop the question. Tie the knot. Tie the knot. Tie the knot. To be on the rocks. To be on the rocks. To be on the rocks. Have a thing for someone. Have a thing for someone. Have a thing for someone. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of your YouTube English teacher who's putting a lot of effort into making these videos for you, and thank you for doing so. and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video.